I get it, you're staring at a dozen 86-inch screens online, and the fear of dropping a few $100s on something that ends up being more eye strain than eye comfort is real. You've probably heard the hype about interactive displays, turning classrooms, conference rooms, and even home studios into collaborative hubs. But you also wonder if the built-in audio actually makes movie nights or video calls feel any better, or if you'll still need a separate sound system. And there's the extra worry about a single cable setup. Will that USB-C really carry everything you need without turning your desk into a spaghetti mess? Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's break it down the way you'd think about it before you click Add to Cart. First off, the ViewSonic IFP8641 isn't just a big picture frame. It's an Android-certified 4K ViewBoard with a 64-point touch surface. That means you can write, draw, and scroll with up to 10 fingers at once, which is a game-changer if you run a design studio or need to annotate PDFs in a boardroom. The real question for most buyers, though, is whether the built-in 55-watt soundbar and microphone array actually replace a traditional home theater speaker setup. If you're the type who streams Netflix in a medium-sized living room, think 12-foot by 15-foot space, and you want decent dialogue clarity without adding a separate soundbar, the IFP8641 holds its own. The 55-watt bar is split across two full-range drivers and a tweeter, giving you a balanced soundstage that keeps voices from getting buried under the occasional bass boom. In practice, I tried a couple of episodes of a dialogue-heavy drama, and the characters' lines stayed intelligible even when the background music swelled. For a typical movie night, you'll notice a clearer mid-range compared to the tinny output you get from most flat-panel TV speakers. The bass isn't earth-shattering, there's no separate subwoofer, but it's tight enough to add punch without rattling picture frames. Now, consider a conference call scenario. The integrated microphone array captures voices from across the room, and because the board runs Android, you can launch Zoom, Teams, or any other collaboration app straight from the screen. In a real-world test with a 4-person meeting, the mic picked up everyone equally, and there was minimal echo, even though the room had some reflective surfaces. That's a big plus if you're trying to avoid a pricey external conference speakerphone. The only downside: the mic gain isn't adjustable from the UI, so in very noisy environments you might need to move the participants a bit closer to the display. Who should buy this? If you're a teacher, trainer, or corporate presenter who needs an all-in-one solution, big visual real estate, touch interactivity, and decent audio for videos and calls, this is a solid pick. The single-cable USB-C connection means you can hook up a laptop, stream content, and power the whole thing with one cord, keeping the desk tidy. The eco-friendly visual performance, with lower power draw and a 4K panel that handles color grading without oversaturation, also appeals to folks who care about energy consumption. Who should skip it? If you're a hardcore home theater enthusiast who expects deep, room-filling bass, you'll feel the lack of a dedicated subwoofer. The 55-watt bar is great for everyday media, but it won't compete with a 300-watt Dolby Atmos setup. Likewise, if you're looking for a pure soundbar to pair with an existing TV, you'll end up paying for a massive screen you don't need. And if you're in a very large conference hall, think over 500 square feet, the built-in speakers will struggle to fill the space, so a supplemental PA system would be advisable. Let's talk connectivity beyond the USB-C. The board has HDMI, Bluetooth, and Wi-Fi, so you can stream directly from a phone or cast a laptop screen without touching the PC at all. I found the remote a bit clunky at first. The buttons are soft-pressed, and the menu navigation feels slower than the touch interface. However, once you get used to the on-screen controls, the remote becomes almost redundant. The Android operating system runs a full suite of apps, so you can pull up a YouTube tutorial while you annotate a design blueprint, all without switching devices. Practical strengths. The touch latency is barely noticeable, which matters when you're sketching or moving objects quickly across the screen. The built-in voice capture works well enough for meeting recordings, and the 100-watt USB-C power delivery means you can keep a high-performance laptop plugged in without needing an extra charger. The panel's anti-glare coating does a decent job in bright rooms, so you won't be squinting during a morning presentation. Practical weaknesses. The soundbar, while clear, lacks a true surround effect, so the immersion you get from a multi-speaker setup is missing. The lack of an adjustable EQ means you can't fine-tune the bass to your taste. Also, The Android interface can feel a bit dated compared to newer smart TV platforms. Some apps need manual updates, and you might run into occasional lag when switching between heavyweight programs. Bottom line, the ViewSonic IFP8641 is a compelling blend.